Warning, playing FPL is highly addictive. It may cause stress, a loss of free time, a resentment towards friends or colleagues, and a dislike to football in general. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. So by now, you've probably started to build your teams and are thinking, how on earth am I going to afford Mohamed Salah for a whopping 13 million? Well, today we're going to be looking at the best £5 million budget midfielders, which can help you to accommodate some of those big hitters. In these selections, I've included some safer bets, along with a few riskier picks for the managers who like to live dangerously. One of the safer picks at 5 million would be Ruben Neves of Wolves. He was a key figure in their championship campaign last year, making 42 appearances as they went on to win the title. Neves only managed the one assist last season, which shows he isn't the most creative of players, but to be fair, that's not generally his job in the midfield. Despite not being the most attacking of players though, he still managed 6 goals, coming mostly from exquisite long-range efforts and free kicks, and he registered a huge 93 goal attempts last season, so clearly he's not shy to have a go. The negative was his accumulation of 13 yellow cards, which underlines his defensive duties in this side and saw him miss 4 games through suspension. Regardless of this, there's still a lot of positives to owning Neves. At 21, he can only improve. Clearly, he has an eye for goal, and I believe he's a safe pick, as he's guaranteed to start every game. For a riskier choice, you might want to look at Neves' teammate Helder Koster. Having been very impressed with what I'd seen from Koster in the past, it led me to dig a bit deeper into the player's stats. Last season, he was used as a substitute in nearly half of his appearances, and his total minutes played equates only to about 20 full games. That's half of what his teammate Ruben Neves managed. His lack of minutes last season was due to him being in direct competition with Wolves' other forward Ivan Cavaleiro, and is therefore not a guaranteed starter in this side. The positive though is that Koster still returned much more goal involvement than Ruben Neves in half the minutes played, so clearly he's the more attacking option that has the potential to be an explosive FPL midfielder. By selecting Koster, you're not playing it safe, but because of his attacking nature, it could reap rewards. A safer £5 million option is Fulham's captain Tom Cairney. He scored 6 goals and assisted 5 last season, and only picked up a minuscule 3 yellow cards, which is always a big plus in FPL. His season before last was even more impressive, registering 13 goals and 10 assists in a very prolific season from midfield, so clearly he's got even more goals in his locker. Granted, the Premier League is a big step up, but being the captain, he'll be the talisman that's relied upon to deliver, and because he's such an important player for Fulham, he's another one that you need no concerns over his minutes. He'll play every game for Fulham, and therefore 5 million is extremely good value for Cairney. A riskier pick than Tom Cairney at 5 million would be Newcastle's winger Kennedy. Newcastle have re-signed him on loan for this year after a successful loan spell last season. He amassed 2 goals and 2 assists in his 13 appearances and helped Newcastle put together a decent run of form that saw them finish an impressive 10th in the league. I can certainly see the appeal with Kennedy, who's clearly a talented player who's currently owned by 3.6% of FPL managers. But for me, it's Newcastle's dreadful run of opening fixtures that makes him a riskier choice. Newcastle face Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester City and Arsenal in 4 of the opening 5 game weeks, which on paper is a diabolical run. Things do start to get much easier for Newcastle from game week 9 onwards though, so if you're not up for taking a chance on him now, he should definitely be one to keep on your watch list. Back to a safer £5 million budget option, it's Cardiff's Joe Rawls. Because other promoted teams like Wolves have invested so heavily this summer, many FPL managers are looking at them for good value options, and this is reflected in Cardiff's player ownership, which is extremely low. Clearly, not many are fancying Cardiff's chances, but I believe that Joe Rawls is someone who should not be overlooked without consideration. He's another player that you can have the luxury of knowing will start every game for Cardiff, and looking at his stats, they're actually more impressive than the extremely popular Ruben Neves. Joe Rawls delivered 7 goals and 4 assists last season, which is more goals and assists than Neves, in less minutes played, and not to mention almost half the yellow cards. Perhaps his biggest plus though is that he's on corners, free kicks, and should be on penalties too, so providing he keeps taking these, what an excellent option Joe Rawls could be coming off your bench. And lastly for the best £5 million midfield options, it's a risky pick, Watford's Will Hughes. Due to his unquestionable talent and at a bargain 5 million, Will Hughes is a very appealing option for me to begin this season. Unfortunately, he only made the 11 starts last year, having been out of action for nearly 4 months with a hamstring injury. And that was definitely a big setback for Hughes, as it came just as he was starting to make an impact for Watford. He had scored in back-to-back games before the injury, and also added 3 assists to his tally. Given his kind run of opening fixtures this season, where Watford play 3 home games in the opening 4 game weeks, he could be an excellent pick, providing he makes the starting 11 and can remain fit. And that wraps up this video on who I believe are the best £5 million midfield options in this season's FPL. Hopefully this helps you in unearthing a few cheap gems for the new season, and also allows you to accommodate some big hitters. If you enjoy this video or find it helpful, then please consider supporting FPL TV by dropping a like and getting subscribed for weekly FPL content. And most importantly, FPL responsibly.